Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm really excited about the launch of our new FIFA 20 Career Mode challenge. We're starting a road to glory with Salford City FC. Can we get them all the way to the Champions League final? Stick around to find out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on the content from the channel. So before we start, I'll just go through some rules that we'll be following. All matches are to be simmed, except for the domestic and European Cup finals. When a player reaches the age of 34, they'll be sold, no matter how good they are. We were building the club on youth, so we'll be looking at developing our young players. Let's get started. As with every career mode, we always start with the pre-season. It's a good way to test out the squad, to see who's going to make the grade and who needs to be sold. Remember, if they're over 34, they're automatically going on the transfer list. Let's check out the squad. So after assessing the squad, there's a few players that need to be placed on the transfer list as they're over 34 and above. Hopefully we'll be able to get some funds for them to throw back into the transfer kitty. I've also noticed that some potential players that could grow and stick with the club as we progress. Players that I'm keen to watch and keep an eye on is right back George Tanner. At present, everyone is playing for a place in the starting 11, and they will continue to assess the squad throughout the season. The areas I'm looking to improve the squad at present are a keeper, centre back, cam and a left midfielder. Let's check out the season objective from the board. So the board are asking for the title in our first season in charge. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it. Let's hope the lads are too. They also want us to reach the last 32 of the FA Cup. Hopefully we'll be able to get a favourable draw and manage to put a nice little cup run together. As these are the two main objectives with high importance, we'll be focusing mainly on these. As one of our personal focuses is youth, we also need to look at promoting youth signings into the first team, and this is going to happen throughout the season. So it's the time for the first game of the pre-season tournament. Up first is Lingby. I've opted for a 4-4-2 formation for this game to see if it will be our formation moving forwards, but we'll be testing out other formations throughout the season. Hopefully we can get off to a good start with a win. Okay, so that's the first game. It has ended with a nice 3-1 victory, with Wilson scoring 2 goals and also George Tanner getting on the score sheet. The only disappointment was Toure getting sent off, and now he's going to be missing for the next match. Overall, I'm happy with the performance, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Okay, second game of pre-season coming up now. We're playing Randers FC. They lost their opening game 1-0 in the tournament. Hopefully we can continue our winning run though. We're only making one change as we replace the suspended Toure for the game. We're also sticking with our 4-4-2 formation for this game as well. So there we have it, we've gone down 3-1, with Hunter getting the only goal for ourselves. Okay, so now we're going to head into the final group game of pre-season tournament, this time against AC Horsden, where we need a win to make sure we can qualify for the semi-finals. Toure comes back into the squad after suspension, with Gibson and Elliott making their first starts of the season. We've also changed the formation up slightly to a 4-4-2 diamond formation. Let's see if that works any better. Well, we finish off the pre-season group stage with an emphatic 4-0 victory, with goals from Toure, Elliott, Wilson and Baldwin. Thomas Asante unfortunately has picked up an injury and will be out for 2 months. It's semi-final time and our opponents are Hobro. Have we got what it takes to reach the final? This time we've brought back in Gibson for the game and Elliott keeps his staying place in the starting lineup with Wilson up front. This is because of the injuries to Thomas Asante. Okay, so that's the final whistle and we've made it through to the final of the pre-season tournament. Thanks for a goal from Elliot. He might just be the answer to our striking problems after all. Thankfully no injuries picked up for this match, so now we can move on to the final. So it's the final, and this time we're up against Randers FC. Can we get revenge for their early defeat in the competition? One change to the lineup with Gibson dropping out and Hunter coming back in. Well, that's it. The final whistle is blown and we've slipped to another defeat by the hand of Randers FC. This time going down 2-0. It's been a good pre-season and hopefully we can take the momentum we've gained into the league campaign. We're still to make our first summer signing, but hopefully that will not be too far away. So it's finally here, the first game of the league season, and we're kicking off with a home game against Stevenage Town. Gibson comes back into the starting lineup with O'Connor dropping out. Wilson and Elliot are our strikers and hopefully they can both hit the ground running. We've managed to pick a victory up in our first league game thanks to goals from Wilson and Burgess. Unfortunately, we picked up another injury, this time with Gibson picking up an ACL injury that's going to keep him out for about 4 months. Baldwin also got sent off, so he's now suspended for the next game. Second game of the season, and next up is Crawley Town. With the injury to Gibson, O'Connor comes into the lineup. And that's another victory in the bag thanks to goals from Wilson and Elliot as we run out 2-1 winners away to Crawley Town. We have some exciting news. We've managed to make our first summer signing in the form of 23-year-old Colombian centre-back Jefferson Gomez. He's come with a hefty price tag of just over $1 million, but I'm hopeful we'll get help to improve the defence at the club. Hopefully, he will not be the only sign so our window shuts. So it's time for some cup action now in the first round of the Carabao Cup. Our opponents, Carlisle United. Jefferson Gomez is straight into the starting lineup for this game, but we've also freshened up the team a little by making a few changes. The most notable change is that Wilson has dropped to the bench and young 18-year-old anointed Chukwu is making his debut up front. Goals from Elliot, Jervis and Towell clinch a nice 3-1 victory to put us into the next round of the Cup to face Cardiff City. Well, it's back to league action next. We have another home game against Port Vale. Wilson comes back into the team for this game after being rested for the cup victory over Carlisle. That's our first defeat of the league campaign and has come into the hands of Port Vale. It's not the best of starts for a new signing Gomez as he had a very poor performance. Hopefully things will improve. So after the first defeat of the season, we're now on a away trip to Plymouth. Can we bounce back and get back to winning ways? Well, there's a share of the points as the game finishes 1-1 with Hunter getting on the score sheet for us. At least we didn't lose and hopefully we can get back to winning ways in the next match. We're on the road again this time and it's away to Carlisle. We've already beaten them once this season in the Carabao Cup. Can we repeat that in the league? On the injury front, Thomas Asante is now on the road to recovery and expected back next month, but with Elliot's rich vein of form, will he get back into the team? Well, will you look at that, it's a repeat of the scoreline from the cup game as we run out 3-1 winners thanks to goals from Wilson, Elliot and Towell. More good news on the transfer front. Now we've completed the second signing of the window by bringing in American centre-back Donovan Pines for 700k. He's certainly going to help bolster the centre-back area and help with competition for those two starting places. Welcome to the club, Donovan. It's back to cup action again, and we should travel to Cardiff City in the second round of the Carabao Cup. I'm not expected to win this match, but you never know, as it is the cup. Pines makes his debut alongside Gomez for this match. Can we make it into the next round? Well, that's it. The Carabao Cup dream is over for this season as we go down to a respectable 1-0 defeat to Cardiff. Now it's time to concentrate on the league and the transfers before the window shuts in a few days. Well, we'll leave the episode here with the team currently sitting 5th in the league after 5 games. Join us in the next episode to see if we can bring in any more players on deadline day and see if the team can continue to push up the table to help us complete our season objective of win the League 2 title. Hope you enjoy the content, and until next time, goodbye.